My name is Jim Bennett, and I am the chair of the Illinois Unites Coalition for Marriage, and I'm also the Midwest Regional Director for Lambda Legal. Lambda Legal is a civil rights group that fights for the LGBT agenda in the courts, and we also work on legislation. We help draft this legislation.
We just really want to know what you're feeling right now.
That it's a complete outrage, that it's an absolute stunning failure to be told that you're going to get a vote and promised a vote, and then to not get that, to not be able to hold the members accountable in the Illinois Assembly of who did not stand with us and who did not stand on the side of equality. We had been told that we had the votes for passage, so clearly we have legislators that go back on their word and are not and did not carry through on what their promises were. And we had families that are sitting all around the gallery that had been there for hours and days and months, and the level of disrespect to ask us to stand there and sit there and listen to the assembly go through issue after issue and never call us for a vote, to never tell us which representatives were with us and which ones were not. Because those representatives, they should be held accountable, and they will be held accountable.
And is your anger at the speaker, or is it at Representative Harris, or?
I wanted Representative Harris to call this bill, and I believe that Representative Harris, he has been a friend of our community forever. He has worked hard for us. He's a gay man. Obviously, he cares about this issue, but he is our elected representative, and he promised us a vote, and he did not fulfill that promise. And that's what this comes down to.
Were the missing votes in the Black Caucus, do you think?
I don't know. I'd sure like to know, but we don't know now because they were afraid to call a vote, and they were afraid to hold that assembly accountable. And it was time. It was time.
I know how impassioned you are about this issue, how you feel this bill to the people, and then they make all those people wait all day without calling you.
It's inappropriate, and the most important thing is these are families that have a right to be first-class citizens. They have a right to be treated with respect, and they did not even get the chance to have that handed to them. And the whole thing is, you look at this country and where we're moving, there's a majority of support across this country for the freedom to marry. We have watched state after state, from the ballot initiatives in November, from the Delaware, Rhode Island, Minnesota that was facing a constitutional amendment, and then they are able to flip and have a marriage vote and secure marriage. And Illinois, one of the bluest states, where our President Barack Obama, called for marriage equality, had the courage to do it before an election, and yet this is what happens now. We have Attorney General Madigan, who has come out for marriage. We have the governor, and I want to thank Governor Quinn because he has been a friend to us throughout this whole issue. And so it's absolutely outrageous. And so I do want to say that I thank all of my colleagues here, and they should be able to talk because I have already used up too much of your time. But over 200,000 calls were made to legislators. There have been visits. We have had families and couples that have gone all around here. We have had people stand with us from all spectrums, from Republican, from all different groups, from the Urban League to Latino groups. We've had an incredible group of people that have come together to make this possible. And every one of these people, and every family, and everyone in Illinois should feel outraged, because there are gay and lesbian kids that may not even know they're gay yet, and they're going to feel like second-class citizens. And we have children that have gay and lesbian parents, and they're made to feel like second-class citizens in their school. And we will work every day until this is corrected. So that is my statement. Completely disorganized. It's Jim Bennett, and I work for Lambda Legal. I'm the Midwest Regional Director and Chair of this Illinois Unites Coalition. And then the coalition had three primary groups. It was ACLU, Equality Illinois, and Lambda Legal. I'll let each of them come up, and I just ask that I can sort of call out their name, but get out of the way. And there's so many here: the Civil Rights Agenda, Freedom to Marry, the Human Rights Campaign, all of us. And the one beautiful thing about this is there have been so many people working with this, and we have been able to work together, and obviously we're going to have to work harder. We've already planned a meeting for this Tuesday at 10 a.m. to begin the steps forward to move out of what an embarrassing situation this is for Illinois. I'll pass it to Bernard Cherkasov from Equality Illinois.
Hi, I'm Bernard Cherkasov.
Got to spell your last name.
Cherkasov. I'm the Executive Director of Equality Illinois.
And Bernard is spelled out.
Bernard. What we witnessed today is a complete failure to act by the Illinois General Assembly, by the House of Representatives. They faced a clear majority of Illinoisans, unequivocal majority, who have now for a year and a half have expressed complete and firm support for the freedom to marry. And in the face of that support, they failed to act today. They should be embarrassed in themselves. They're going home having failed to act on a historic opportunity. Hundreds of clergy members from across the state joined forces in support of freedom to marry. Business executives, corporations, small businesses, large and small, everyday Illinoisans from every part of the state, every corner of the state, every county have expressed their desire. And what we saw today, in the face of all that support, is Illinois General Assembly, specifically the House of Representatives, that failed to act on that. We're disappointed, we're disgusted, and it's really painful because it's really about those families who are going to go home today and look at the state that doesn't recognize them and treat them as equal.
I'm Ed Yohnka. I'm the Communications Director for the American Civil Liberties Union of Illinois. Let me say, yeah, sure, it's Yohnka. As you can imagine, this is a very bad day for this group of advocates that you see, but it's a worse day for the families that were up in that gallery. These families deserve, in fact, they have a constitutional right to the dignity and the respect and the recognition of marriage, and they're going to have that right. It didn't come today, but we're going to get up tomorrow and we're going to start working all over again, and we're going to make this a reality. It is not a question of if Illinois recognizes the freedom to marry, it is a question of when they do, and on that day we look forward to a great celebration.
I'm Rick Garcia from the Civil Rights Agenda.
I'm Rick Garcia from the Civil Rights Agenda. I stand here with people who have been coming to this state capitol since the 1970s, working for equality and justice for all. And today we are not only deeply disappointed, but angry. And I'm going to tell you something. Beginning tomorrow, we are starting over. And we may have to start with a new sponsor, a sponsor who is not beholden to Mr. Madigan, but a sponsor who will fight for the families here in Illinois, for all of us. Look at these faces, look at these people. This is why we are here. And we're going to fight, and we're going to come back again and again and again until it gets done.
You're disappointed with Greg Harris's representation?
We asked Greg Harris to call it. We asked him to do it, and he did not. I'm disappointed with him.
What about the process here? You mentioned you had hundreds of people come to this Capitol
And they're disrespected. People come down here and there's no time of when a bill is going to be called. They let them sit in a gallery and sit up there and be sweating and hot. And it's at the speaker's will to call it. That is disrespectful to these families, to these people, to us. Now, I'm here as a lobbyist all the time, and so, okay, I can be disrespected, but not the families of Illinois, not my community, not my people. I will not stand for it. And we will not stand for it because tomorrow morning we begin to push for equal marriage in the great state of Illinois, with or without Representative Harris, or with or without Mr. Madigan.